Am I wrong? Throwaway 02864744 says, am I wrong for telling my adopted son that it's wrong to leave his real family and go be with a bunch of strangers? My son was adopted from Korea when he was a toddler. He was raised in the U.S. by my husband and I. A few years ago, he managed to track down his birth mom and his many Korean relatives. We met them on one occasion. He is currently a senior in college, and he said that after he graduates college, he is going to find a job teaching English in Korea so he can get to know his Korean family. I told him that those people aren't his real family because DNA doesn't make you a family and that it's wrong to move to the other side of the world from your real family to get to know a bunch of strangers. We need him in the US. I, my husband, his siblings, and his cousins need him. Things won't be the same without him. Foreign teaching jobs last at least a year, so we don't be able to see him for at least a year. And what if his Korean family convinced him to move there permanently? He was born there, so there is probably a way for him to get his citizenship back. If he rescinds his U.S. citizenship to gain back his Korean citizenship, we'd lose him forever. Rubber Bangerel 66 says, as a mother with adult children, let him go. He needs to do this. I believe he will see how blessed he was to have you and your spouse as parents. My daughter, around the same age, she joined the military and had a baby, who I have only seen twice. And I'm okay. I'm concerned about the word need. You should not need an adult child at that age because they are out making their own lives. If you need him, figure out why and plan on getting those needs fulfilled elsewhere. You should not be reliant on him for anything, not money, not projects around the house, etc. In short, he has played the college game and now wants to explore life and the world. This is his time in life to do this, and it will make him a better person. Long Jumping Pick 706 says, please listen to this opus. Rubber Bangerel 66 says, why thank you. Empty Nest Nana says, you are very wrong. Do some research on international adoptions. People want and need to know their roots. He has the right to know where he came from. He has questions that you cannot answer. If you try to stop your son from doing this, you stand a good chance of losing him permanently. You should encourage him to learn his history, remind him how loved he is, wish him well, ask for updates, keep in contact with him. Give him your blessing. Love him while he learns about his past and his roots. Let him have his culture. MC says he says, some people who were adopted seek out their genetic relatives. Most don't. This child absolutely should be supported, but it's important not to buy into the popular, but completely erroneous idea that most of us who are adopted have an interest in roots that are not part of our actual families. Swimming Juice 9752 says, adult, actually. A senior in college. Mom needs to realize he's not her child anymore in the sense that she dictates his life. Patient Gas 5245 says, you are wrong, as I read your post. You come across as it being all about me. Your wants, your needs, nothing about your adopted child. You don't need him. You feel that, because you adopted him, he's your personal property. He's a senior in college wanting to go to South Korea, and while he is adopted, he's Korean and wants to know about where he comes from language to culture. Behaving the way you are, I would be impressed if he ever would come back to your home. You sound insufferable as a parent. Especially with how you phrase your sentences, I need him, my family needs him, and his siblings need him. It's like he shouldn't have a life that doesn't revolve around you, and that you use him as an emotional support animal and to be a third parent. He's an adult and doesn't need your permission to teach English in South Korea. As a parent, your job is to help your children functioning members in society where they know how to cook, clean, budget, and live on their own. Donkey Kong 694 Northeast 1 says. Shocking lack of empathy after raising this person from childhood. Per Day 12 says. You are wrong. If your son is currently a senior in college, then he is an adult. He is capable of making his own decisions. You don't need him in the US. Why do you say that you do? Grey Blue GRRL says. You are scared of losing him, which is understandable. However, guilt trips and threats do not do anything, except push him towards them, and away from you. Adults leave home and grow. You did that. You raised a reasonable, responsible adult. You helped him grow into an adult that is independent, and has a future. Now he gets to make decisions. If you want the separation to be permanent, keep doing what you are doing. If you have actually said all those things out loud to him, apologize. Tell him you are afraid. Let him go. Your open door will be important to him. The odds of him coming back to you increased dramatically. But you are definitely wrong to be trying to manipulate him like this. Participant 469 says. I was adopted from Korea, 41F. I understand the desire to be in touch with Korean culture. My parents are white, and so is my sister. In the film Crazy Rich Asians, Awkwafina's character says, you're like a banana. Yellow on the outside, white on the inside. And I get it. Growing up I never quite fit in. At worst, family members could be mean and racist. No one understands that. While my sister and I went to the same schools, we had vastly different experiences. I love my parents. I never had the drive to find my biological one. My mom says I grew in her heart instead of under it. Nothing on this planet could make me forget or want to permanently leave them. Visit Korea and experience it? Sure. Stay there and forget everyone. Never. In the end, this isn't about you or how he was raised. He just wants to explore the culture and get to know them. He's Korean. It is part of his heritage. The good thing is that people have enough love in their hearts for everyone. He won't love you any less, no matter who else comes into his life. He may come back more appreciative of his upbringing, who knows. Am I wrong? Thijarafi with the lung says. Am I wrong for wanting to cut ties with my friend after being asked to pay for my portion of my birthday that they planned? To make a long story short, I broke up with my ex-BF about 2 months ago. 2 weeks ago I returned stuff to him. We are friendly, at least we were. While meeting he was like, our birthday is coming up, we are 3 days apart. He said we should meet with mutual friends for drinks. I was like, okay, that sounds good. So my ex texted the mutual friend, who is closer to him, to get things started. This mutual friend took it upon himself to plan everything. He ended up picking a fun activity that cost money. He separately texted me that he didn't know he was being party planner this week and that next year the planning is on me or a future boyfriend. I responded with, I appreciate everything you are doing, but this was all my ex's idea. So I went. Things weren't that bad or awkward. My ex did say multiple times that he had taken a date to this place a few weeks ago. The mutual friend and my ex basically ignored me, but other friends were nice to me and asked how I was doing, etc. I'm beginning to think this was all a thing, just to get under my skin. Then this morning the friend texted and asked me to Venmo money for my portion of the event. I was always under the impression that when you do something for someone's birthday all friends chip in, so the one with the birthday does not have to pay. I didn't even particularly want to do this or hang out with my ex, and then after making me feel shitty by being ignored asking me to pay just felt so wrong. Am I wrong to feel slighted and wanting to cut these people out of my life? Baller McFly says. Did your ex pay for his part? It sounds like this wasn't throwing you a party, more making a schedule. You should be responsible for your portion of the evening. Scolatanagra says, no, you're not wrong for feeling upset. It sounds pretty inconsiderate of them. If it's weighing on you, cutting ties might be for the best, especially since friends should make you feel valued, not ignored. Glacier8049 says, you are wrong. While friends will often pitch in for the person who is having a birthday, it shouldn't be assumed that is what is happening. I'm sure this gathering was awkward for all participants and a great example of why staying friends with exes is not a good idea. OK Committee 8244 says, no, you're not in the wrong about feeling slighted, but you might be attributing it to the wrong part of your post. The spending should have probably been discussed beforehand, and I understand feeling a bit slighted, but that alone shouldn't make you want to cut someone off. It sounds like the actual time spent with them is what is motivating these feelings, and I definitely think that's valid. The hard part of ending relationships, that no one talks about it, the mutual friends you shared, as it's common for sides to be picked among the breakup. His impending baldness says, ask him to Venmo you money for a birthday present. Bakakakiam says, I would ask for an invoice first, and what everyone else was paying. It sounds like they set you up. Lalalalalalalalala says, NRW? Ask for the receipt, and how many ways it is being split. Venmo and then block them all across all platforms. True Resolve 2625 says, block and move on. Indie50 says, you're wrong for not asking about it upfront. They're wrong for not mentioning it and asking you about a budget. I would never assume that friends, especially one closer to the ex, would be paying for all of something like that. And when the friend called you, you told him you appreciated what he was doing and didn't ask for any other details, like who was paying for it. Why would you assume he and your ex would pay for it all, or that they asked other people to pay to attend your and your ex's birthday party? Veryl Babapop says, if I was going to pay for a party, I'd have done the planning myself. I don't see why you should have to pay anything for a party that was thrown for you with zero input from you about anything. YNW. Ratchet Girl 24 says, if repayment was discussed and agreed upon beforehand, then no agreement was made. You were told the get-together was a joint celebration of both your birthdays. Unless your ex is paying his portion, then you should not be expected to pay for yours. Over it but says, yes, you're wrong. This wasn't a birthday date for you, it was a get-together for you, him, friends. Pay your own way and stop complaining. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.